One of my students interviewed for MIT today, and the interview went so well that the guy offered him an internship in the room after just a half hour of speaking to him. And the reason this worked out is because I taught my student to approach the interview in a way that's probably very different from what you're expecting. Now, most of you think that college interviews are like job interviews, that the guy is going to grill you for a little bit, and you need to have all the perfect answers to show them that you're the best student to go to that school. In reality, it's nothing like that. An interview has actually evolved into a friendly conversation. Admissions officers don't really use it as any significant part of the admissions process. It's just a way for you to get to know more about the school by talking to an alumnus. And the alumni are really being used for these interviews, not because they have a huge weight in the admissions process, but in fact because it increases donations to the university. The university realized that if they let alumni interview people, they're more connected to the university and so they can get more money out of it. That's the only reason these interviews are happening. So what you should really be doing with these interviews is approaching them as an opportunity for you to make a connection with probably a pretty successful person and then see what you can get out of that. You want to make friends with the person you're interviewing. And then because you guys are friends, they will report good things to the college, right? So you should be doing three things in this interview to get that result. The first thing is that you have to find a point of common interest or experience. You can do this a couple of ways. The first thing would be to research the person to see if there's anything you guys have in common that you can find that's public on the internet. But in fact, once you show up there, you should be asking probing questions. Where do you grow up? How many siblings do you have? Did you go to college for this purpose? What do you study there? You want to make sure you have something in common with that person so you guys can bond over it. That makes it way easier to have a conversation after the fact. The second thing you want to do is take your time. So that means both taking your time after they ask you a question. So take 5 to 10 seconds to think before you answer, not because it takes you that long to come up with an answer, but because it gives you some time to be composed. And the second thing is to speak slowly. You want to lower the pace at which you speak so you can appear calm and confident and enunciate well so they can understand exactly what you're saying. This will also make it possible for you to remove filler words from your speech. No ums and ahs that sound very weird when you're speaking because you're trying to speak too fast. So this gives you some time to think of the next word. The third thing you should be doing in this process would be to answer every question with a story. Now, people don't realize this, but one-word answers are really disassociating. It's a way to create a separation between you and the interviewer. Instead, tell them a story that answers the question and leaves the answer for the end. So if they ask you about the hardest day in your life, tell them about a time that you did something very difficult and end with, this was the hardest day of my life because. But you want to give them a winding story so they have more material to latch onto so they can form a common experience. And if you guys have further questions about how you should be acing your Ivy League interviews, drop them in the comments below and I'll answer them.